disagree with. Like, it's not a thing. Like, it shouldn't be done. But it's like something that
It's a food thing, isn't it?
It's a food thing.
It's pineapple on pizza, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a food thing. It's pineapple on pizza.
What is going on, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Welcome back to episode 7 of the podcast. We enjoy you guys coming back in here. Hopefully, you guys have had a freaking amazing week. If you have not, we do apologize, but we hope it gets better over this amazing weekend that you are now in, especially starting off watching this podcast again. We appreciate you all. Baby, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, doing all right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you had a pretty long week at work.
Yeah, it was pretty long, but, you know.
It's
things
the weekend.
Yeah.
It's
things
the
are
freaking weekend.
Things are looking up, so I can't really complain too much.
You can. You're just not trying hard enough, though.
I know. No, trust me, off camera. That's another story.
There's a lot of stories off camera, Chad. I'm just telling you guys right now.
Fun stories.
It's all right, though. But that is okay. Things happen in life. We just need to just get over those little humps and just keep on going, you know?
Yeah. Another week. Another day.
Absolutely. Speaking of another day, here's my question to you. Okay. We discussed this a little bit like off the podcast, obviously, where it's just like there's always that one thing that you're like, yep, if you were a serial killer, that is exactly the last thing I would hear you say that would make me think that you are a killer. Or
if they were caught and you would think back.
And you're like, what were like some of the things that they said or did that like that should have been a red flag. I should have caught that.
Yeah, those like weird like little traits or whatever. And you were like, should have known.
You know what though? For real though, for those of you that eat Kit Kats, right out of the wrapper and just bite into them, don't break them off. Stay away from us. Okay. For those of you that can't freaking pop a dang straw into a Capri Sun, you're insane. No. What was the other one we said too?
I think the string cheese, instead of like peeling it, you just like bite into it.
You're literally like psychotic at that point. Like you belong in a madhouse.
I feel like a lot of these are foods because the other one was like pouring milk into a bowl and then the cereal instead of like cereal and then milk on top. Like, yeah.
Terrifying. Like who does that?
I think the other one that I just like thought of, or like I thought of today when we were listening to something else, somebody said that they put on like when they put on their like socks and shoes, it's like they put socks, like they put their sock shoe on one foot and then
put the other sock in the shoe instead of putting your socks on first and then your shoes.
Yeah.
Like both socks on first.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it, but like people do it, and then it's just like what? Like
I think the thing that scares me the most is people that put on their socks and shoes, but then try to put their pants on afterwards. Like I'm like
I don't know.
How?
I guess it's just like depending on what kind of pants you're wearing. Because like I wear
jeans.
I don't know how they do that.
No sense, right?
Hey, good on you if you can do it. Because I
So if anyone here does any of those things, okay, for any of those that are watching, or if you are new here, you have subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. But if you don't do that, but you know someone that does, share this video with them. Let us see what people do. And if there's anything out there that you guys can think that'd be just as weird, please leave it down below in the comments. Like, what are traits that you're like, yep, nope, you're a serial killer 100%. Like, you're gonna freaking commit something. Like, stay away from me. Like, if you guys have anything like that, please drop it down below in the comments for us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's still kind of funny that we think of that. Just like randomly, we'll be like, that just seems weird.
That seems like kind of like psychotic. Like, is that psychotic behavior? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I don't know. It's just like those like little traits that you just like get under your skin and you're like,
and you just can't shake it off. It's like, something's just
like,
about that. Nah.
Like you can't just get over it. I don't know. So, okay. What else?
That's all I got for our beginning segment.
Beginning? Okay. Are we transitioning?
That's what I. Do you have anything that you want to throw out there? Anything that you thought was funny or interesting?
No, you took the traits thing.
I'm so sorry.
Which is okay. we wanted to talk about it anyway.
We did. But I think we have a lot more to add on to that, especially when we go towards October.
Yeah, I feel like if anybody has any more, I feel like there are plenty out there where, those little things you go, oh, like that one thing, like I should have known, like that one trait. Yeah, I'm curious to see what other people think of it, because I think the string cheese one is probably a very common one, and same with the cereal.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, I feel like those are very hot debated things in general, and then, yeah, so.
It's cereal first, then milk. Get it right. For those of you out there, I swear to God that put the milk in first, stop it.
I feel like it's just, like, one of those ththings where it's just, like, how do you know how much, like...
No, how much cereal or milk to put in, exactly.
Yeah, like the ratio,
right.
if you put milk in first.
You'll just, it will never work.
I'm just curious.
Me too.
Weird.
Someone will tell us out there. Someone will tell us.
Yeah, somebody will do it.
There's gotta be some kind of like algorithm to it. We need to know.
I don't know. It's just like one of those things where it's just like, it's still just not something I would do. But, I don't know. It bothers me. But also, I feel like that brings a different topic up of like, is that like a small hill that you like the smallest hill you would die on kind of situation? We could bring that. That could be a different conversation.
That would be a different conversation. We'll definitely get to that at some point. In this podcast.
You could also drop that in the comments if you want to, like your smallest hill that you would die on. Because I do have one. I know mine. I do. I talked about this at work, I think. Yeah. Like I think it came up in like conversation at one point. And
Do I know this hill?
Yeah, you do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I think you've also had this conversation with your community. It's something that a lot of people would like disagree with. Like it's not a thing, like it shouldn't be done, but it's like something that it's
a food thing, isn't it?
It's a food thing.
It's pineapple on pizza, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a food thing. It's pineapple on pizza. Pineapple on pizza just goes. I don't understand why people have such a problem with it. I don't know.
I think it's just because people just think of pizza as like, like sweet, like salty, savory, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like you're adding something sweet to something that doesn't belong there. But then my question would be like, okay, what about like sweet and sour chicken?
Sweet. What about it?
Well, I'm saying like, why can't chicken be sweet and like salty? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's fine. I like sweet and sour chicken.
No. But I'm saying for those that don't think that pineapple belongs on pizza, it's like, okay, well, what's the difference? Right. It's like I don't see now.
Okay,
if it's just pineapple alone,
pineapple belongs on pizza. It's so good.
I would pick off a pineapple and eat that first, and then the pizza. But if it's like how we get it with like jardiniere, which if you guys are not from the Midwest and don't know what jardiniere is, it's basically like pickled like peppers with like carrots. Carrots, little like celery. It's like pickled vegetables
with like an oil in it.
Right.
It's spicy. It's spicy
or mild.
Yeah, like that's a weird also topic. I didn't realize, or we didn't realize at one point, that like jardiniere is just like a Midwest thing.
Right.
Because we brought it up like two people, and they're like, what do you talk?
What the hell is jardiniere? And I'm like,
it's so good.
It's like, what do you mean? What is it? It's like it's jardiniere. They're like, what?
it is spicy, but you can get them at different levels as well. But anyway, yeah, like putting pineapple and jardiniere
on a pizza.
Yeah, it's a sweet, spicy
salty,
combination,
savory. It's like everything.
But people don't have a problem with like the peppers kind of like.
Of course not, because that's something salty too.
It's the pineapple people have problem with, but that is a hill I will die on. I will argue it to like any day that like pineapple can belong on pizza.
Absolutely.
It's a great topping. People should try it.
We just pissed off like.
I know, we just pissed off a whole bunch of people. I'm so sorry.
The whole world right now.
I'm so sorry.
We're gonna get so many thumbs down on this video now, because if you guys believe that pineapple belongs on pizza, make sure you hit that freaking thumbs up button for us. I'd appreciate it.
It's worth a try, and if I get it, if it's just the only topping, for some people it just might not be their cup of tea. But I'm telling you, pineapple and jardiniere together on a pizza, it changes the game a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because you weren't a believer, and then I had you try it, and then...
Well, again, I've tried it with just Jardiniere, but that's because I love Jardiniere. Like, I put Jardiniere on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like, I was like, I was skeptical on the pineapple because I'm like...
It's so good.
I think I never had... I mean, I've had, like, mayo and ketchup on pizza. By the way, if you guys are... if you're in Europe, yeah.
No.
Yeah, they put, like, mayonnaise on top. It's phenomenal.
See, like, people argue, like, pineapple doesn't belong, blah, 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 blah. But then people do stuff like that. Like...
Yeah, but mayonnaise is different.
Mayonnaise, yeah, like honey. It wasn't like honey, like a whole big thing. What the hell? Like, I don't understand.
Okay, but listen, like, I feel like honey's a different kind of sweetness compared to like pineapple.
Yeah, but again, it's like
I get what you're saying. I guess
it's also like a different. It's not like in the pizza. It's like a topping.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people like would order honey itself. They probably order like a honey garlic or something like that. Like, I don't think they just order like just honey. I never heard people do that.
I don't know if it's like a dip, like, you know how like people do like ranch, because I am a big like dipper and ranch.
Oh yeah, who isn't though?
So good, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm telling you though, for those of you that that are good friends with me and with Red, that I know will be visiting us at some point, we're gonna make you try it. And you're gonna like it.
You're
gonna like it.
I think, if anything, they would probably like the Jardiniere, and they might go home with like
a jar of it.
A jar of it.
Here you go. Bring it to your family. Bring it to the West Coast. Show them how much you need it out there too.
Yeah, it's such a Midwest thing. It's so funny.
It is.
It's so funny because I used to work at a sub shop. I won't say the name, but in the sub shop, like so many people would ask for it that and we didn't have it at first.
Yeah.
Because like where this like sub shop was like originated wasn't in the Midwest.
Right.
So actually like the owners had to ask permission from like higher up, like
can we have this like here?
Yeah, because it was a franchise. So like they had to ask like the original group, like email them and be like, hey, can we offer this like as like a topping? And they were like, what is it?
If you're not from the Midwest, you'll have no idea what it is.
They didn't even know what it was. So eventually, yeah, they got approval because it is like a specific, like they said like, yeah, here, you can use this specific brand.
Like, go for it.
Go for it. But yeah, it's such a wild thing that like certain things that we are like accustomed to is just like not a thing other places, which is fine. I think that's kind of funny and kind of cool.
I'll spell the name out down below in the comments for you guys, for those of you that really want to look it up. I'll leave it down below, so you'll be like, how do you spell that? It's not spelled the way you think it is.
Yeah, that's true. It's not spelled the way you think it is, but it's a great topping, and it's not usually, I would say, used for pizzas. It can be, but it's more of like
for we get like dip
Italian
sandwiches, Italian beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, by the way. Phenomenal.
Yeah, usually meant for like some kind of sandwich usually, but like you could definitely put it on pizza and it would not be a problem. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad to know that is your hill that you will die on.
Thank you.
I have my own, so it's not food related either. So
do you want to? We'll save that for next time.
We'll save it the next time. But what I do want to get to is some of the topics that we found that you found actually today.
Oh, are we going with all mine?
We're gonna go with yours because I think we do need to tackle something that I feel like not a lot of people really consider in relationships, just like the toxicity in relationships, and just we did talk about red flags at some point, like in like episode, was it 4 or 5, we did talk about some red flags.
Yeah, but we were talking more about like our red flags of what we thought. I mean, for the most part, some of them are just like like things that you would notice on first dates. Not so much toxic stuff though, just things that we would be like
like if that was me, I'd be like, I would like kind of keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on it because you just don't know where it's gonna go.
Correct.
Whether it is like how people are treating other people, or like for me, I think I said like if they're bouncing around for different paths of careers. Because if they keep being that indecisive, my thought was like, if they keep being indecisive, like where is that going to lead them down the line to? Also, what are they doing as far as like paying for that? If you keep switching, at one point, how much money do you have if you're switching majors like all the time?
Right.
So that was my logic. But again, everyone has their own red flags. Everyone has their own things that you know what's best for you. So kind of just keep that in mind. Like you have these gut feelings, and gut feelings are there for a reason.
Get a good check.
Yeah, a good check, everyone. So it's healthy for everybody.
Absolutely.
Especially yourself. Those things are there for a reason, and people have many stories about following their gut and it paying off in the end. It usually
does too.
And yeah.
It definitely usually does.
That's why that's why I said it's there for a reason, and definitely follow that. So.
And that's why I really wanted to like have this episode be about like just not just red flag, but just like kind of like pointing out like toxicity in relationships, because I feel like we don't really. I mean, again, I feel like some of the red flags that we've had for ourselves, like you and I, were a little bit more kind of like, okay, yeah, that's something you can kind of just like, learn to just fix or whatever, like throughout time. But then I think there are some situations where the red flags become so, I guess, so embodied in the relationship, and they started becoming so much more toxic to the point where it's just like, it's not even a relationship anymore. It's just like almost like borderline like abuse at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's always points in relationships where it's like, where is this going? If it's not a healthy relationship, you shouldn't stay in it. And that's easier said than done, I would say, in certain circumstances, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, when some people don't even realize they're in, like I would say a toxic relationship. Sometimes it's hard for people to realize that maybe this isn't the best relationship for them, and that's okay too.
It happens, but
it does.
I think what needs to happen in those cases is either someone outside the relationship that sees it needs to say something, because I feel like even those that do know like are just too afraid to leave.
Yes and no. I feel like sometimes it just depends. Again, I feel like there's so many different circumstances. There's a lot of different, like, I don't know, ways it can go. So I feel like it's just, like, I don't know, how do I want to describe that? Like, situation by situation.
Right.
Case by case. There we go.
Right.
Situation.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I know the one story I read, like, earlier, it was like, it was literally like 5 sentences, but it's basically like long story short, TLDR. It was like this guy who was a single father who had like a 4-year-old daughter, I think, like was being like physically abused by his like girlfriend, like physically and emotionally abused, but treated like his daughter like her own. And he didn't want to end the relationship because like his daughter started calling his girlfriend like mom, and he felt like if he had torn that away, that the daughter would like not love her dad anymore, and he was like spiraling because he didn't know what to do, even though he was physically and emotionally being abused by his girlfriend.
That's horrible.
It's terrible, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like some people don't want to leave, or don't know what to do because they're afraid to leave or whatever. So it is definitely situational, 100%. Yeah. But in those situations, man, I feel for those that go through that, because that's just terrible, 100%.
Yeah, and there are always I was gonna say like companies or different places that people can go and get help, hotlines too.
Yeah.
If you're ever in an unsafe situation, there are resources out there that are able to help people.
Yeah.
There are plenty, which is great. There should be, and I think it's just a matter of getting those resources and being able to have the courage to talk about it, because if you're just going to keep sweeping it under the rug, it's not going to do any good.
Well, no, it's just going to make it worse for everybody. Everyone, right?
Everybody involved.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So let's see what you have found, because I know you read me a title or two, but obviously I didn't get the chance to hear the story, so I'd love to hear what you have found.
So some of these are not as serious as that.
That's fine. They don't need to be.
I feel like some of them are pretty, like, I would say this first one, I'm going to start off a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay.
Still a good topic. about like relationships in general.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll read it and then we'll discuss.
Sounds good.
Okay. So my 23 female boyfriend, 24 male, wants to move in with me, and I want him to live alone first. This was posted on Relationship Advice. This was over 3 years ago. So it's been...
So time's passed.
Yes. I believe there is an update to this one.
Okay.
So my boyfriend and I have been together 10 months. He lives with his parents. His parents are in their 50s, male and female. And he had younger brothers, 10, 16, 18, and they have no sisters. Before current events, he was over at my place basically every night. A couple nights ago, he said that he wanted to move in with me if I'm up for it. I've been to his place more than once, and I've seen how the dynamic works. His mom does everything for all 5 men in the house. Cooking, cleaning, the works. Basically, all they have to do is put their laundry away after she washes, dries, irons, and folds it. The reason the parents aren't forcing them to contribute is that this was the parents' agreement. He works. She's a stay-at-home mom, so she raises the kids, runs the household, and he pays for everything. With one of the clauses being that as she's doing everything, there's no need to involve the boys. As a result, my boyfriend can't do anything. I don't know how much of this is actually cluelessness or how much of it is him trying to get out of stuff, but he has told me with complete sincereness that he can't even fry an egg. She checked with his mom, which is why when my boyfriend suggested moving in together, I said I wanted him to live alone first. His plan was basically to go straight from his mother's house to my flat. I told him my hesitation, which is that he can't do chores. He then offered to pay more rent, 75%, in exchange for me doing all the chores. I said no. I don't want to be his mother or his maid. I want to be his girlfriend. Then I told him I wanted him to live alone. Go from his mother's house to his own place, figure out to do all the things he's never done for himself, learn some basic life skills, and then revisit us living together. This caused a huge argument, biggest we've ever had, and he's taken me saying that he has no life skills as an insult, which is kind of fair. And he was basically saying that clearly I don't want to live with him and at all. And I've pushed the moving in time back, and I've only said we revisit it after a few months of him living alone. And I said revisit because I want to make sure he actually knew what he was doing and wouldn't immediately switch back to offering more rent or no chores. This was all a couple nights ago. He's just stopped talking to me at his mom's. He's at his mom's. He's online. He's talking to mutual friends who said he is responding. He won't answer any of my calls or texts. He told our friends what happened, and they're all on his side, saying that I was really mean and cruel. I love him, and I don't want to live, and I do want to live with him eventually. I just don't want to live with him if I'm doing everything. And the one thing I don't want is him paying extra for me to do all the housework. Is there some sort of compromise or some kind of option I'm not seeing? what is something I could do to fix this? So this is relationship advice, not like, am I the asshole? So
right. No, they're just looking for advice.
They're generally asking,
like, what can I do to kind of make sure this man child is not like,
yeah,
like I'm not taking care of a man child. Well, and how old did they say they were again?
They're in their early 20s.
Like
Let me go back.
24, you said?
She's 23, he's 24. So they're still early 20s.
Okay.
He is, like living with his parents. She's on her own. So she's already learned some
basic, like, household, like,
life
responsibilities, stuff like that.
Yeah, because I'm assuming if she's living in a flat, she's paying for her own rent. She's doing all her own chores,
doing her own cooking, laundry.
She has probably her own job in order to afford her own place. Like, she is an adult.
Yeah.
Where he has not yet to live
on his own yet
and learned how to do anything. I mean, his mom still do everything. It doesn't say if they have a job or not, so we're not sure there. He must have some kind of job though, because he was offering to pay
some rent.
And he said because he doesn't want to do any chores, 75%. So actually,
I mean, that's a good chunk. I mean,
but again, like, the problem is, like she said, she doesn't want to be his mom.
Right. She doesn't want to be a maid. Exactly. Yeah.
She doesn't want to get paid to clean the house. She wants him to take responsibility for his half of the mess. Because can you imagine, like if they're both working, so coming home and doing everything after work?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like in our situation too, it's like you come home from work and I just say, okay, hey, I still need laundry done by tonight. I need you to cook me up a meal for both of us, sweep the floors, mop the house. It's like,
there would be no way.
No. Not only is there not enough time in the day to do all that, but it's like, again, B, you're not a nanny. You're not a maid.
Yeah, I mean, we are both responsible for helping take care and just keeping order to our house, especially since we both work, which is fine. I mean, his parents had their own arrangement because, like, the dad worked, and so the mom took care of all the household things, and that was the thing that, like, they were able to establish.
Right.
Mom doesn't have to work, so the dad does all the working. So when he comes home, he doesn't want to do like, he doesn't really want to do any of that.
I'm sure. I mean, I just like, like, this is the same situation with my parents. Like, my dad pays for everything. He works, but my mom takes care of the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry. Yeah. Now, of course, like, as the man, he's going to take care of, like, the household work, like, outside, like painting or,
of course,
the lawn care and also car maintenance. Like, of course, that's just typical. You know what I mean? Because you can't expect a woman to do all that and then some. That's just ridiculous alone. You know what I mean?
But I don't think, like, she's unreasonable, her saying that, like, I don't want to move in yet. Maybe her saying that, I don't even know if it's really mean of her saying, like, you don't even have like a life skills.
Well, he doesn't though.
It's true.
Like, I mean, like, granted, I mean, like, my mother took care of everything for me. She did all the cooking and cleaning, for me. Did my own, she did my laundry. She cleaned my room. It's like, I didn't do anything. I'll be honest, I really didn't. But eventually, I would start helping. Like, like, I would see my mom, like, oh, she's like running around to do stuff. Like, I would help start cleaning my own dishes, stuff like that. Or if there's a couple extra dishes in the sink, I would clean them. I started watching more cooking shows. So I was interested in, like, different kinds of food. So I started cooking my own food every now and then. So it's like, I learned how to do some certain skills myself. That's because I either wanted to help or I wanted to learn. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess, like, she's asking if there's any other, like, suggestions, compromises. If he doesn't want to try to live on his own, like, where he's living, he can start trying to do little things for himself. Instead of his mom doing his laundry, he could just
do it himself.
Just be like, you know what, I want to try.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of, like, with me, like, I wanted to learn how to do some things. You know what I mean? But if he's not even, like,
I don't think he's interested.
If he's not even interested at all, that's kind of a big red flag. It's like he obviously doesn't care enough to want to even learn how to do simple things to be in the same household as you. And I think
he just wants to hire somebody.
Pretty much. I mean, I mean, unless he makes millions of dollars, that's not going to happen.
It also just depends on like, is this person like coming in every single day? Because like it, I don't know. Like I feel like there's certain things where if you don't know how to do a chore, some chores are not as bad as you think they are.
Right, of course.
Like washing dishes, like that's
It's not difficult.
basic. That's basic that like just about anybody can learn how to do, especially even at a young age. Now, of course, there's sharp objects, like the parent will not even allow children to wash things, but like putting things like a dishwasher, that's a pretty easy like thing, like learning how to put dishes in the dishwasher and starting that, learning how to just like wash dishes, pretty easy. Laundry can be tricky sometimes if there's like a stain, but like, and maybe like blankets, depending on certain material, of course, that could be, you just have to
color too, though, because I mean, I feel like a lot of like young people that like do laundry just think like, I'll just throw everything inside the laundry and you'll be done. Where technically, I guess you can now.
Yeah, it's not as bad now.
Right. I mean, with all the detergents nowadays, it's different now. But I mean, like obviously before, if you had a red T-shirt and I throw on my white underwear in there, my underwear's turning pink.
Yeah.
Immediately. There's no ifs, ands, or buts because one of my tank tops, I actually did that with one of my tank tops. I had a really cool bear tooth one that I got from Warped Tour. It was a bright white tank top. And I guess one of my like
something red
or it was either red or black, something, but it's something like almost dyed it to like a different color.
It happens.
It does. No, it does. But that's what I'm saying though. It's like I don't think a lot of people that first do laundry understand that concept until it actually happens. No, again, you see it in cartoons, you see it in TV shows, you know what I mean? So it's you kind of see it happening more often like than most now because it's just a funny little joke, like of course, but
that is also like a basic like life skill that you just learn to do.
Right. Yeah. Or someone teaches you, one of the two.
Yeah. But again, I think the issue is
how to compromise him to do something.
I feel like it's not you that has to compromise. Like, it's not her that needs to compromise. It's him being like, they're like,
what do I have to do, basically?
Yeah, you have to, like, she has to just tell him, like, there's nothing I can compromise with you at. It's just, I want you to be able to just be able to clean
after yourself.
Clean up after yourself. I mean, even like scrubbing the toilet, it's not the fun job, but like anybody can learn how to do that. Washing a shower, anything, sweeping up, vacuuming. Like there's certain things that like
I think in terms of like the compromise and what she's looking for, I think again it's similar to kind of what we decided, like
like splitting things,
splitting the jobs, right? Like I try to help sweep up the downstairs as much as I can, and try to if I have time I will mop and stuff like that, or I'll send out Felix, which is basically like that's what I call a Roomba. I'll try to send him out, for like an hour in case I don't have time. I'll send him out for an hour to clean up something like that, and then I'll just mop afterwards. I handle the cooking. I handle all the lawn work, not the gardening, but like the lawn work and all that stuff. I mean, the landscaping, I handle that. Any kind of other repairs from the house, I handle that. You know what I mean? So if I'm doing that while working, then I would expect you to handle the other half of the load that I either can't get to, or let's be frank, or I don't want to do.
Yeah, because I know you really don't like laundry, which we've already discussed before, which is fine. I take up that. I usually wash like all the bathrooms, take care of the cat, like anything he needs, make sure everything's all good. I usually, if you're cooking, I clean.
I try to wash the dishes as I'm going, like if something's like stewing, or if like, I have like 3-4 minutes while that's cooking. You're
better at that now, but before you would just leave everything.
Oh yeah, but that's because it's just a timing thing. Like some things take like a minute to cook, where some things take like, now I make food that takes like 15-20 minutes to cook in between, so I can clean up now. So I learned that, you know what I mean? Like if I'm like, oh hey, I got 20 minutes to bake these potatoes, but the steak's gonna take me like 3, 4, 5 minutes to cook my steaks real quick, I'll just put those until like before you get home, so that way it's fresh and it's ready to go. Yeah. So I can clean everything else up. This is what I try to do.
I also sweep and mop as well. Right. I feel like that's like a shared thing.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I didn't get to I didn't get the chance to sweep today. Can you just sweep and I'll mop when I get home? It's like,
yeah, we kind of we definitely teamwork on that. But I think that's it. Like you said, maybe
trash. I think we both like,
Oh yeah, we both do that.
Whomever just, it's like, oh, it's full. I just noticed it got full. I'll just throw it out real quick. It's like, yeah. So I think it's just a matter of, and again, we've discussed it before too, but it's just a matter of like, if you're going to be moving in with your significant other or having one, if you're going to move out with your significant other or have them move in with you, whatever, you want to make sure that they at least have some idea of how to do some basic skills, because there might be days or, God forbid, let's just say like, you hurt yourself and you can't walk for several weeks. It's like, well, someone needs to pick up your slack. It's like, oh, honey, I don't know how to do laundry, or I don't know how to cook. Here, cut my food up for me. It's like, I'm not going to expect you to do that, because that's not, A, is not fair, and B, it's like, that's something basic that I should just know how to do on my own, because God forbid something happens, I need to learn how to be able to be sufficient on my own. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, the comments kind of say the same thing. Like, somebody says like, no one ever showed me how to fix a toilet, but mine broke during the pandemic, so I
learned how to do it.
Yeah, they said I YouTubed it.
Like, that's how I didn't use YouTube, but I learned how to fix our toilet that broke. Don't know what's leaking upstairs.
Some people are just saying like, don't move in like with a partner just because it's convenient,
That's good. Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't move in with someone unless they know how to take care of themselves first.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are agreeing with her. Like, please, you're absolutely right. Don't give in to him.
Yeah, don't do this to yourself, basically.
Yeah, because it's hard, because you fall in those habits, and if you never had to do it yourself, like, I mean, and he's expecting you to do everything, and I don't think you're going to change his mindset. So I think living on his own would have
definitely teach him something,
put him in the right set of mind. There was a small update.
Okay.
Where is it? The update is so that he called me and I agreed to talk to him. He then basically said that he was never going to be willing to learn to do anything, and even suggested divvying up the chores. Then I do my half and he would hire a maid to do his half. Sufficient to say this was something of a turnoff, and by the end of the conversation, we broke up. I mean, I feel like that was the best outcome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, I don't want to say like it wasn't doable, but he literally, like you said, he wasn't going to be willing to learn to do anything. So
I think hire a maid to do my half. I'd like, just do it yourself.
I think that was the best outcome, because
wow.
And that's great that she found out before he even moved in.
That's just
like, good for you. I mean,
you know what? I kind of feel like it's better that he had said that rather than just be like, oh yeah, no, I'll help you out. And they move in together, and then sure as hell, like.
No, because I mean, she was pressing it. She knew, like, he knew nothing, and that's what he even said. He would pay the 75% or get a maid, because
that is so wild, dude.
People do it.
I don't understand that. Like, what?
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have any more comments on this one?
Fellas, if you're gonna move in with your lady, cook.
I mean, yeah, cook is like a
cook
really
and mow their lawn, and you're set. Like
mowing the lawn is really.
You're set. Make sure her car's got oil in it. Make sure her tires are good. Make sure you feed her, because women. I could be wrong, but I lately I've noticed a lot of women don't either like to cook or prefer not to cook lately. And I feel like a lot of men are starting to take up that role now. Am I wrong, or?
I think it's still like half and half. I feel like there are some.
I feel like if it's a stay-at-home mom that has kids and like, whatnot, like, I feel like the mothers will cook then. But I feel like in a relationship where it's like,
I feel like stay-at-home moms or
dads, stay-at-home moms or dads, but I'm
stay-at-home
talking about
parent.
Right, stay-at-home parent. But
I feel like
I'm
that's
talking
not
about specifically women. I feel like not a lot of women nowadays cook.
But I'm just thinking that I don't think that's as common as you think anymore.
What do you mean?
A stay-at-home parent?
It isn't, but I feel like
Not that it can't be done, but I feel like it's harder to be done in this economy now.
right. But I still do believe like a lot of if
Well,
there is
yeah,
a stay-at-home
stay-at-home parent,
I feel like they also work at home. Like they have a job that they could be a stay-at-home parent while they work at home.
I see.
So I feel like it's maybe not as common for a stay-at-home parent just to be a stay-at-home parent, but I feel like there is like stay-at-home parents that do like something that they can do online or something like that. Like they can
they can do something
like work in a medical office like at home, like filing stuff online and all that stuff or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
You can work at home,
right?
Like a work home.
So I still feel like there are stay-at-home parents, but they also work at home.
But then that's not really a stay-home parent. Because then they're working.
True, but
because if you're working, that means you still have to put in your hours, and like that's still like usually an 8-hour shift. Just because you're at home doing it doesn't. I feel like that.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I feel like that comment isn't as accurate as you think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because you work from home doesn't mean that you're not doing work. Like we have plenty of people that we know that work from home, and they literally are on the computer for like their 8 hours.
7, 8 hours while they're with their kids, stuff like that, whatever.
Well, some don't even have kids, and I can only imagine them throwing a kid in the mix and them still being like, I think it would be a little bit doable, but some people like they need to focus on their job at hand. So
true. Yeah.
I don't think it's possible for everybody. I think the commute's easier because they don't have to go anywhere.
Right, just from their bed, straight from their bed to their computer.
Yeah. Like that's great, but I think they have to find a balance as well. True.
Probably should not work as many days more than likely.
Yeah, maybe like
say 3 days a week, something like that, or whatever.
Yeah, maybe they were just part-time.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Any more comments?
I don't think so.
Comments, concerns?
If anyone out there wants to know who does cooking in the relationship, drop it down in the comments. I would like to know who does with the cooking. Is it a man, woman? Is it both? I know we try to do once in a while. We try to do a couple recipes together because.
Yeah, I feel like you do. We've said this before. You do most of the cooking in our household, but we do
some recipes if
together
just because it's easier.
Yeah, we do have like a day that we
orange chicken.
Oh yes,
so good.
The orange chicken is probably my favorite recipes.
If you guys want the recipe, let me know in the comments. I'll put it down there for you.
Okay. Continue. Okay. So
I think we got time for like one more story if you got a good one for us.
My boyfriend can't keep a job and I'm tired of it.
Ooh,
yeah. This is also from relationship advice, and this was from 2 years ago.
Okay. Are you reading it?
Would you like to read it? Actually, I didn't read this one. I kind of read the title and how old they were. Okay. So, and like how long, like in the first sentence, it's like tells you the age.
Yeah.
And how long they've been in a relationship, and that's as far as I got. And I kind of like scrolled to see if there was comments, and there's a couple. It did not really get that much traction. It didn't really get a lot of comments, but there are a couple. But that's okay. I think it's something that
we can discuss.
Yeah. So, because I had a problem last time reading, which I'm hoping you still are gonna cut it out. Yes, please.
Okay. All right.
I have these long pauses that he has to cut out.
I love it. It's so fun though.
I think he edits it. I don't know. Kinda? No? I hope you edit that out.
I try to.
Are you gonna edit out my craziness?
No. So I'll try my best. I'll try my best to fix it, okay?
You can like edit my part where I'm like, please just edit, please.
Oh, that yes, I'll definitely do that. Don't worry. I will.
This part too, probably.
I will work on some stuff. Well, no, we gotta keep this in here.
Why?
Because it's hysterical. They get to see the real us too at the same time. Oh, you're fine. Stop it. I'm gonna hear that all night. Just laying in bed. What? Like, let it go. Let it go, honey.
The weird like noises I make. I'm just like me pouting.
It's like your cat, dude. Okay, we'll get to your cat later. So the title is "My Boyfriend Can't Keep a Job and I'm Tired of It." Sorry for the rant here, but I'm fuming this morning. Me, female 25, and my boyfriend, male 28, have been together for 2 years. Throughout our entire relationship, he has never kept a job for more than a couple of months at a time. When we first got together, he was working at a bank, and he really liked that job and made good money. However, once COVID hit, he got laid off and has been out of work for a couple of months now. Then he started doing random part-time jobs just to bring in some kind of income, but all the part-time jobs never ended up working out for him. He got into construction. He was actually doing that for a few months. Another thing he really enjoyed doing and brought in some good money at the same time. He ended up quitting that job because it wasn't his passion. Mind you, our entire relationship, I have been working the same job as a district manager at American Eagle. I've gotten 2 raises since me and my boyfriend have been together. I make good money. Anyway, so he quits construction and starts doing a bunch of temporary jobs in order to find his passion. And all of them, he only works at for a couple of months at most and ends up quitting or gets fired, and he'll go weeks in between jobs. For the past month, he's just straight up refused to work now. It makes me mad when I wake up early and go to work, for sometimes 11 to 12-hour shifts, and I come home and he's been sitting around playing video games all day, not looking for work, building his skills, or even helping to clean the house while I'm gone. Today's my day off. He said he was starting orientation for a new job today, and this morning he told me he isn't going to go. On top of all this, I'm pretty sure he's lying to me about how much money he has in his savings. He says he has over $10,000 in his savings, but I've had to pay for all of our 2 months' rent and bills. I make plenty of money, but I'm exhausted from feeling like I'm the only person contributing financially in this relationship lately. Everything else about him is perfect, and we're very happy. However, I'm at my wit's end, and he just needs to find a stable job. I want him to be able to like where he works, but we also have bills to pay, and part of adulthood is sucking it up and working to get those paid for. I need advice, please.
Wow. That was a rant.
That was a very big rant.
That's hard.
It is hard, but it's one of those things where it's like, this guy's almost 30. He's 28.
Wow, 28?
He's 28. I just don't understand why he doesn't just go back to a bank job? Yeah, he worked at a bank and he really liked it.
Yeah, why doesn't he just go back?
Just go back to what you were doing. I don't understand what's so difficult. Just go back.
I know they said something about he was laid off or the pandemic?
Yeah, so once COVID kicked in, he got laid off and that was kind of it. Okay. But it's like, okay, so just go look for work at other banks. I'm sure there's more than one bank in your area. Like,
that's true.
There's like 13 of them around within a freaking 5-mile distance of where we live.
That's true.
We got one down literally 3 blocks down the street. We have a bank there, and there's another one right across the street from that one. It's like, you just have to be able to wanting to go and look for a job. It's like, again, I'm not sure what he did at his bank job, but if something that was so good that he liked it so much, just go find another one.
And yeah, you can actually, I know somebody that started working at a bank, and they started as a teller, which I think is you
taking the money. Oh, what's the account number? Blah blah.
Yeah, but I think that's just the opening job. It's not It's kind of lower level, but they raised through the ranks, and now they're higher in their job and everything. And to say that's awesome. If they stuck with it, and unfortunately he did get laid off, but
it happens. But
like you said, there are other banks, there are other opportunities. There's, right. If he was doing it for a while, maybe they would like that as having experience, which is great.
Right.
But they even said something about construction, of him liking construction as well. And that was something that makes pretty good money as well.
I don't think he liked it per se, but I think he just worked it just because it was something he just
It was something to help out with bill wise.
Yeah, because it said he got laid off, yada yada. He quits his construction job because he wanted to find his passion. So he quit. He quit because he obviously didn't like it.
Okay.
But now my question is
again, he still liked the bank job, so I don't see why he couldn't do something similar to that. Like, what was it that you liked about that specific
But it's
thing?
not even just that, and I think a lot of people don't understand this, like, this, like, misconception of, like, yes, you want to follow your passion, but you have to make sure that you are able to chase that passion with money in your pockets.
That is true.
Like, okay, like for me, for example, like, do I want to become a full-time, big-time streamer? Of course I do. I get to stay home, play games 7, 8 hours a day, and get paid big money to do it, get sponsored. Of course, that's my biggest passion. But me sitting at like 5 or 10 viewers on Twitch isn't gonna pay the bills for this house. I need to make sure while I'm chasing this passion that I have a job that can pay the bills in the meantime.
Yeah.
And I don't think this gentleman understands that concept, because he's just like, oh well, my girlfriend works, I'll be fine. I'll find my passion while I just sit around and lounge around and just let her pay for things while I'm doing this. It's like, but if you don't have the need to even like try to get a job right now, it's like, what makes you think you'll be able to handle your passion if the opportunity comes?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem. It's not so much like him trying to find what he's passionate about, because there are plenty of people that go to try to actually find their dream job, but they put in work to do it. They
Right,
put in
you have to.
they put in applications. They make their resume look flawless. Like they get
the
those
experience they need.
those certificates, those degrees, whatever you need in order to land that. People go above and beyond in order to try to land their dream job, and
Right.
and that comes with hard work and dedication. It's not going to just like fall in your lap.
Right.
So I
No
guess,
matter how much you want it to.
yeah, unfortunately, as much as you would love it to, and sometimes even doing all that, you might not get your dream job, and that's okay, because sometimes like getting those like starter jobs will get you to where you want to be later on. You're not always going to land your dream job right away. Sometimes it does come with
Patience.
patience and getting experience and knowing the right people, and you know getting especially experience under your belt to get you where you need, but also connections. And you can't really
Networking, definitely, yes.
you can't really do that if you're not trying. So I think the biggest issue is him really not putting in any effort
at all.
So that's a big problem.
I think that's the one thing I need. I think the OP needs to really take into account too, is if he can't even handle like these part-time jobs to at least help you guys get by. And I mean, he even said like, oh yeah, like I got an interview lined up, but I'm not going to it. It's like,
that floors me.
it's like, what was the point of even trying to get that interview? What was the point? Just to say you could?
Did he even find like that's my other question. Is he the one who found that like interview, or did she?
Must have been him, because, well, I don't know, I don't know actually, because it's like she would come home and he'd be like playing video games or just lounge around, not cleaning the house or anything. He would just lounge around. It's like, dude, like your girl's working 11, 12 hours a day full time, and it's like, what are you doing?
I think, again, like, if you are wanting to do that, yeah, I think they, at least, if you're looking for your dream job, like, obviously, like, certain things, like, getting laid off is not your fault. The pandemic happened, and a lot of people, unfortunately, like, lost their way, had a lot of hardships, and that's not necessarily their fault. What is their fault is then not sticking with like a temporary job just to get by and waiting for them to then find their passion. But like, even still, like you said, like they just don't have any like desire to, it doesn't sound like they want to work at all. And something as simple as just doing a part-time job and then working to find your dream job goes a long way. And I don't think they're doing that.
I think ever since they lost their like this amazing job with their bank, I guess, whatever it is they were doing, it's like I feel they just kind of like lost all drive in your passion, because of the fact that if you're at that point in life where you would just rather sit at home and kind of just like expect something to come to you, it's like, I'm sorry, but at that point I feel like you've just given up. Like you don't see the need to try anymore. It's like, oh well, I've already exhausted all my options now, and I'm just gonna wait. It's like, That's not how that works though. You can't just wait for an opportunity to fall in your lap. You have to go.
Yeah.
You have to look for it. And it's like I would love. I'm more curious to know what his passion is though. Like what is this quote unquote passion that he's trying to chase? Like, you know what I mean? Everyone has a passion. Everyone has a goal. But it's like, again, mine's to be a full-time streamer. You wanted to be something in the medical field and you achieved that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but you worked your butt off for that. Like day in and day out, like literally pulling your hair out, studying, like literally starving yourself half the time just because you're so focused on studying. Like you did so well. By the way, I'm so proud of you. Like,
Thank you.
super happy for you. You're literally the best. I love you so much. But again, you achieved that passion because you had a drive because you wanted it.
Yeah.
But
and again, like where I got to is like not without hard work, just like you said. And I don't know. It's just they did lose.
I feel like if you're gonna be in a serious relationship with somebody truly, that you have to sometimes suck it up for the best for the better ship of the relationship.
That is true. Like again, even if like he couldn't find his
Passion job or dream job,
as a simple part-time job at anywhere.
Which is funny because she works as a I think district manager at American Eagle, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's basically like an Aeropostale. It's like another clothing store.
It's a clothing store.
Yeah, but she's making good money there working as a district manager. But this guy had a job as a good money as a construction worker, as a banker. It's like, it's like, why are you essentially just pissing these jobs away? Like, yeah, you might not like doing them. It might not be your passion, but
yeah,
sometimes you have to, just like everyone else.
You suck it up for
just until you get by. I mean, some people nowadays are working 1 or 2 part-time jobs to pay for college nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I doubt anyone loves working at McDonald's or Burger King or anything. Like, no one wants to do that for a living. Who does? No one.
No, but you can, like some people are very strategic in where they go for their part-time jobs because depending on the franchise, sometimes if you work for them, they have like a loan forgiveness for.
Oh, of course. I understand that.
That's amazing.
But what I'm saying is, like,
if there was out there who are in college,
yeah,
remember that.
I know Starbucks does that. I know, like, if for those of you that are looking for a really good paying job that actually will pay for your college, I'm pretty sure UPS does that. If you drive for them or whatever, if you work for them, they actually pay you well. While I'm pretty sure they will pay for some of your college. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I think UPS and I know Starbucks. Right?
Yeah. So again, like, and then those situations
are 2 big ones.
Yeah, in those situations that makes sense though, like 100%, because you're trying to achieve schooling, like getting your schooling paid off while you're also making money. Like that's the drive and your passion. You're trying to.
Yeah.
You're going through this job to drive your future passion, of course. But in this guy's situation, he doesn't even have a drive to find a part-time job to even help him and his girlfriend get by.
And I mean, a lot of people this flew really like under the radar, which
it happens.
It happens, but the people in the comment section said the same thing. Like, his passion is finding a girlfriend to financially support him.
Yep. And
he has that.
Pretty much. Well, again, because she's like, okay, well, maybe he'll find a job. Maybe he'll find a job. It's like, at this point, if he's just giving up on these jobs that are, I mean, again, he's working these jobs and he's like, yeah, I worked in a couple weeks, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like Sean from Psych. It's like he worked hundreds of jobs for like a couple months each, but it's like, okay, but the chances of an opportunity landing in your lap saying, here's your dream job, here's your dream contract, here's your dream home. It's like, if you're expecting all these dreams to become a reality, you can't wait for them to come to you. You have to go get them. And I don't think this guy understands that.
No, again, a lot of even more commenters saying, I hate to break it to you, but he's 28 years old. He isn't going to change and suddenly find his passion or a career. This is what he is going to do for the rest of his life. Slack off and then have no retirement funds, no health insurance, and no way of life above the poverty line. And unfortunately, that could be
That
true.
could be what happens, yeah. And it's sad to have this guy bring her down after she's working so hard to just stay afloat in their house or apartment, wherever they're staying.
Yeah, I feel like that's a tough conversation you're going to need to have, because if one person's putting in their all, and then no one, the other person's not, putting in the same amount of effort or resources, then what's the point of keeping them around? And these people aren't married.
They're just dating.
They're just dating. So, and they have been dating only for 2 years, which is a good chunk of time.
That is 100%.
But they're
adults though. Like,
they're adults, and this could be a time to maybe just, have that hard conversation if they're not gonna.
If you're not gonna actually change and put the effort in and actually help me pay for some stuff, you gotta go.
Yeah, it might be the hard conversation that they need to have, and unfortunately, some
people just need to hear the hard facts and the hard truth. Otherwise, I feel like most people tend to really fight and push for opportunities when their back's against the wall, and this guy is just There's no backs.
Yeah, he's having it too easy because she's paying for everything.
Yeah, he's not pressed against the wall. He's on a couch playing video games, eating junk food, and just hanging out.
It's not gonna look so nice when
he's on the streets.
Yeah, when she can't take it anymore. Yeah, I don't know.
It is what it is. So, guys and gals out there, push yourself to the limit. Especially like this beautiful young lady that did.
Thank you.
Do you have any more comments for this one?
No, I'm just hoping that she realizes her own worth too, because she doesn't need somebody like anchoring her down to, make her do everything. You need a partner in this, not
another child, not a man-child. Take care of. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it would have been one thing if he was going back to school or if he was
doing something, at least to show that he's trying to better not only himself but their life for the future. Exactly. So,
but he's not doing that. So I would say hard conversation. If he's not going to change, then
he's gotta go. You're out.
I feel like
3 strikes.
Gotta be it. Okay.
Well, that was a good episode. I liked how we went from psychotic behaviors, to food, to toxic relationships.
That was a weird transition.
But you know what, though? I feel like this randomness, I feel like a lot of people will actually enjoy this.
I feel like I need to learn how to read better. Reading.
I think the reading is fine. I think we need to get you a tablet to read off. I think it's hard for you to read on a phone.
It is, and sometimes there's screenshots, so I can't just scroll.
You're right.
So it's where am I?
I think we'll have to get ourselves a little iPad or something to like a little tablet up for you to work on. So we're gonna work on that for Mrs. Red over here.
Mm-hmm. Please, because I would love that. Or a laptop, a different laptop or something.
We'll make it work.
Or I'll just have you always read them.
Just always read every single story. We're ready to read one? No, you go.
And you go.
And here you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Ooh, should we do a code phrase this time?
Phrase or word?
I'm thinking phrase, like pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza. Yep, that's it. Pineapple on pizza.
So we're doing a phrase this time. Pineapple on pizza. So if you guys have read up to this point, make sure you type in pineapple on pizza in the comments, whether you like it or not. Do it. Do it
now.
Or if you guys want to do emojis, you can do a pineapple on pizza. That's totally fine. We'll understand that way that you guys got there. Be sure to check out our social medias. We got a couple of more TikToks and YouTube shorts coming out real soon. We are trying to get a little bit bigger on Twitter. I think we are only at we actually only have 1 or 2 followers on Twitter right now. So for those of you that are,
I don't use Twitter. I never did.
It's a good platform. So we're gonna start posting more stuff. I finally am starting to post more things, or at least I'm trying to. I am still trying to find a video editor to kind of help me push out more content. But we are working on some stuff, so make sure you guys check us out on all these beautiful socials that you see right here. Don't worry, I put something in the so in case you're wondering. And again, man, I'm having a stroke too now. Look what you've done. Look what you've done to me. You start acting like your partner when you start being with them so long. Remember, pineapple on pizza in the comments if you have if you've gotten this far, make sure you guys hit that big old red subscribe button right here. If you guys actually do enjoy the content, you want to be reminded of when we're posting, make sure you hit that bell notification right next to it. If you guys really just enjoy the video entirely, please hit that thumbs up. It actually really helps us out a lot, and it's free, no cost to you. And we will appreciate you more. We'll give you all some forehead kisses. I'll give you more because, you know, I love you.
Love you too.
So we'll see you guys next one. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Bye.